This?
The cutting?
It's a rotary cutter.
Rotary cutter.
And it's all sold in the same
together,
area.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
You can buy a kit, or you can, yes. The other thing that I'll warn you along with that is it does stick very well, and your first inclination, if it's not in the right spot, is to kind of lift it up and pull it off. It'll bend your paper, you know, so the part that's it's stuck to, if you try to lift it like that, it'll put a little kink or a crimp in that thing, and so you'll have to cut another piece. So be careful with that. You know, you'll get smart about how you can lift it, because we do sometimes put it down too quickly or haven't thought it through. And if you catch it before it's, you know, completely on, you can, but if you try to jerk, it'll get a crimp in your thing, and you have to do it over again. Okay, so what I would do once I had my design, I decided on this one, for example, that I was going to start it 1.25 inches from the top, right? Pardon me, 3 inches and 7/8 I started from the top. I'm not sure why I did that number, but it must have been a good design decision.
It looks good.
So it was a good design decision, but I did 3 7/8. And again, I know that because 1, 2, 3, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7/8, and it matches perfectly at the top, right? So I've got a line that's telling me that's 7/8 here, that's 7/8 here, that's 7/8 here, all the way across. I'm also double checking it to make sure that this line is straight, right? Because what if I've cut this crooked, right? And so 7/8 is, you know, works, but it's not cut straight, right? So there's so many ways you can just confirm your precision here. So I've got a very beautiful straight edge here, and I've got 3 7/8 all the way down. So then I know that I want to have this, hopefully it's some even number, wouldn't that be nice? Oh, sweet. It's 1.5 inches, right? So it's 1.5 inches in. Now I have my 2 border measurements, right? And it's your decision now whether you want to go across or you want to go down. I, for some reason, liked to go down. So, as you would say, I would do that. And then you could bring in, you don't at this point need a 3rd ruler, quite honestly, because you've got a beautifully cut chip. And I would take my chip. There's no pencil mark involved here. I've not traced out a little square, and I would just carefully, you know, put this down in the spot, right? And I would just, you know, pat it down. So, and it would just be, I guess I cut it a little wrong, but that's how I would do it, right? I would go all the way down, and once I had that one, I would say, okay, what's my distance between these two, right? And it is 1/2, right? So I know that I want to start this 1/2 down. Now what I would probably do is I would go to what I'm comfortable with as 1/2 is starting at a 1/2 marker. I had to calculate what that was, counting up the little dings, right? But I would go to maybe my 1/2 mark and my 1, and I know that that's a perfect 1/2 inch, and I would put my next one down, right? And then I know that this is going to be a perfect 1/2 inch, and I would do that,
Chris,
right?
did you bring this across? Or
No, at
you
that
just
point I
left
don't.
it?
That is already set, right? So that is set. What you want to watch, I'm looking at this right now, you always want to make sure that this doesn't move, right? So again, I'm looking at two dimensions here. I'm looking at this one, the vertical, and I'm also looking at my horizontal width, right? Which in this case is 1/2 inch. And this is 1.5 inches. And it will always be 1.5 inches, and it will always be 1/2 inch if you check it. If you don't check it, it could be 1.25 inches. You know, this could start to slope, right? So these are so amazing.